Weird lights in the sky. It was a normal Tuesday night in New York City. People were walking home from work, thinking about what to eat for dinner. But then, something strange happened. Sarah, a young office worker, was the first to notice. She looked up from her phone and saw tiny dots of light dancing in the sky. At first, she thought they were stars. But stars don't move like that. "Hey, look up there," she shouted to people around her. Soon, a small crowd gathered on the sidewalk, all staring at the sky with open mouths. The lights twinkled and swirled. They made shapes like triangles and circles. Sometimes they zoomed across the sky fast. Other times they just hovered in place. "What are those things?" an old man asked, his voice shaking a little. Nobody had an answer, but everyone had their phones out, taking pictures and videos. Within an hour, the weird lights were all over social media. #WeirdLightsNYC was trending on Twitter. People from all over the city were posting about them. The local news stations sent out reporters to cover the story. They interviewed people on the streets and showed shaky videos of the lights. "It's probably just drones," one expert said on TV. "No way," said another. "Drones can't move like that." As night fell, more and more people came outside to watch. Central Park was full of people lying on blankets, staring up at the sky. Kids pointed and laughed. Adults whispered to each other, wondering what it could be. The police got lots of calls. But what could they do about lights in the sky? They just told people to stay calm and not panic. By midnight, the army showed up. Big trucks full of soldiers drove into the city. They had fancy equipment with them, like big radar dishes and computers. An army officer spoke on TV. "We're looking into the situation," he said. "Please stay in your homes and don't worry." But telling people not to worry just made them worry more. The next morning, the lights were gone. But the city was different. People walked to work looking up at the sky instead of at their phones. News vans were parked on every corner. Reporters asked people what they thought about the lights. At schools, kids drew pictures of the lights and made up stories about aliens. Teachers tried to explain that there was probably a normal reason for what happened, but the kids didn't believe them. The army set up a base in Central Park. They'd put up big tents and fences. Nobody was allowed to go near. This made people even more curious. Some people said the government was hiding the truth. They thought it was aliens for sure. Others said it was a secret military test. A few people even said it was all a big trick, like a movie special effect. By lunchtime, something new happened. A video went viral online. It showed a weird shape landing in a field outside the city. The video was blurry and shaky, but it looked like a spaceship. The army said the video was fake. They told people not to share it. But of course, that just made everyone want to share it more. As the day went on, more weird things started to happen. All the TVs in the city suddenly turned on by themselves. They showed a strange pattern of colors and shapes. It lasted for 10 seconds. Then everything went back to normal. People's phones started acting weird too. They would turn on and off by themselves. Some showed strange symbols instead of normal text. The mayor of New York City finally spoke on TV. He looked nervous and kept wiping sweat from his forehead. "Citizens of New York," he said, "we are facing an unusual situation. We don't know what's causing these strange events, but we're working hard to figure it out. Please stay calm and go about your normal lives." But how could life be normal when everything was so weird? As night fell again, people waited to see if the lights would come back. Rooftops and parks were crowded with people looking up. Then, at exactly 9:00 p.m., it happened. The lights appeared again. But this time, they were different. They were brighter, and there were more of them. They moved in a way that seemed intelligent. And then, the biggest surprise of all. The lights started to come down. They got closer and closer to the ground. People in the streets started to run, not sure if they should be excited or scared. The lights came together and formed a big shape. It looked like a giant ship, floating right above the buildings of New York City. For a moment, everything was quiet. The whole city held its breath. Then, with a sound like thunder, the bottom of the ship opened up. A bright light shone down on the street, and something started to come out of the ship. Aliens say, "Join us or die." The bright light from the spaceship lit up the streets of New York City like it was daytime. People stood frozen, staring up at the giant ship hovering above them. Some were too scared to move, while others held up their phones, filming everything. Slowly, a long ramp came down from the ship. It touched the ground right in the middle of Times Square. The crowd backed away, leaving a big empty space around the ramp. For a few minutes, nothing happened. The whole city seemed to hold its breath. Then they heard footsteps. Heavy, metallic footsteps. 3 tall figures walked down the ramp. They were definitely not human. Each was about 8 feet tall, with blue skin that sparkled like it had tiny stars in it. They had 4 arms and 3 eyes. Their heads were shaped like upside-down triangles. The aliens looked around at the crowd. Their faces didn't show any emotion. It was impossible to tell if they were friendly or not. One of the aliens stepped forward. It opened its mouth, but instead of words, a beam of light came out. The light formed words in the air, like a hologram. The words said, "We are the Zor-Kath Empire. We rule 10,000 planets. Earth is now ours." People in the crowd gasped. Some started to run away. Others just stood there, shocked. The aliens' light words continued. "You have 2 choices. Join us or die." Suddenly, there was a loud noise. A group of police cars and army trucks came speeding into Times Square. They formed a circle around the aliens. A brave police officer stepped forward. Her voice shook a little as she spoke. "Do you welcome to Earth? We mean you no harm. But we can't just give you our planet. Can we talk about this?" The alien in front didn't seem to care. Its light words flashed again. "There is nothing to discuss. You are primitive. We are advanced. You will obey or be destroyed." To show they were serious, one of the aliens raised its hand. A beam of energy shot out and hit a nearby building. The whole top floor exploded. People started screaming and running away. The police and soldiers didn't know what to do. Their guns looked tiny compared to the aliens' powerful weapons. Just then, a new voice boomed out over loudspeakers. It was the President of the United States. "People of Earth and visitors from space," the President said, "this is a historic moment, but we won't be bullied or threatened. Earth is our home. We've faced big challenges before, and we've always come together to solve them. We'll face this one the same way. Together." The aliens didn't seem impressed. They started walking forward, pushing past the police cars like they were toys. But then something unexpected happened. A little girl, maybe 7 or 8 years old, walked right up to the lead alien. Everyone gasped, thinking she was in danger. The girl looked up at the huge alien and said, "Why do you want to hurt us? We could be friends instead." For the first time, the alien seemed unsure. It looked down at the little girl, then at its fellow aliens. They had a quick conversation in their own language. It sounded like music mixed with bird sounds. Finally, the lead alien's light words appeared again. "Friendship is not a concept we know. Explain." This surprised everyone. These super advanced aliens didn't know about friendship. Maybe humans had something to teach them after all. The President spoke up again. "Let's all calm down and talk about this. There's a lot we could learn from each other. We don't need to fight." The aliens huddled together again, talking in their strange language. The whole world watched and waited. After what seemed like forever, the aliens turned back to face the crowd. Their light words said, "We will listen. You have 24 hours to show us why we should not conquer your world." A big sigh of relief went through the crowd. It wasn't perfect, but at least it was a chance. As news of what happened in New York spread around the world, people everywhere started thinking, How could they show the aliens the best of humanity in just 24 hours? What makes humans special? Scientists started gathering the coolest human inventions to show the aliens. Artists got ready to share the most beautiful music and paintings. Chefs prepared the tastiest foods from all cultures. But the little girl who'd been brave enough to talk to the aliens had a simpler idea. She started organizing the biggest friendship bracelet-making party ever. People all over the world joined in, making bracelets to give to the aliens. As the 24-hour deadline got closer, the whole world was buzzing with activity. Everyone was doing their part to show the aliens why Earth was special. But a big question remained. Would it be enough? Could humans really change the minds of these powerful space conquerors? And if not, what would happen to Earth? The next 24 hours would decide the fate of the entire human race. Earth fights back. The 24-hour deadline was almost up. All around the world, people waited nervously to see what would happen. Would the aliens be impressed by humanity's efforts? Or would they decide to conquer Earth anyway? In New York, a huge crowd gathered in Times Square. The alien ship still hovered above, casting a shadow over the city. The three alien leaders stood at the bottom of their ship's ramp, waiting. The President of the United States stepped forward. Behind him were tables filled with Earth's greatest achievements, beautiful art, amazing inventions, and delicious food from every culture. There were also millions of colorful friendship bracelets, made by people all over the world. Leaders of the Zorkath Empire, the President began, "We've prepared a presentation to show you why Earth is special. We hope you'll see that we're better as friends than as conquered subjects." For the next hour, the aliens watched as humans showed off their best qualities. Scientists explained how humans had gone from cave paintings to space travel in just a few thousand years. Musicians played beautiful songs that made some people in the crowd cry. Chefs offered amazing foods that even made the aliens' eyes widen in surprise. But the biggest hit was the little girl from yesterday. She walked up to the alien leader and held out a friendship bracelet. "I made this for you," she said. "It means we're friends now." The alien looked at the bracelet for a long time. Then, slowly, it reached out one of its 4 hands and took it. Everyone held their breath. Was this a good sign? Suddenly, the alien's light words appeared. "We have decided. Your art is illogical. Your morals are inefficient. Your emotions are a weakness." The crowd's hope turned to fear. It seemed like all their efforts had been for nothing. But then the alien continued. "And yet, we find ourselves curious. You are different from any species we have encountered. We will not conquer you today. Instead, we will study you." A huge cheer went up from the crowd. It wasn't perfect, but it was much better than being conquered. However, the aliens weren't finished. "We will return to our ship now. In 30 days, we will come back with our full fleet. If you impress us again, you may join our empire as equals. If not, we will conquer you. Prepare yourselves." With that, the aliens turned and walked back up their ramp. The giant ship's engines roared to life, and it slowly rose into the sky. In a flash of light, it was gone. For a moment, everyone was quiet. Then the President spoke up. "We've been given a chance, but also a challenge. We have 30 days to prepare for the aliens' return. We need to show them that humans are strong as well as creative. It's time for Earth to fight back." Over the next few days, the whole world came together like never before. Countries that used to be enemies now worked side by side. Scientists from all over shared their best ideas. In a secret facility deep underground, the world's best minds gathered. They had one goal: to create weapons and defenses that could stand up to the aliens' advanced technology. Dr. Emily Chen, a brilliant physicist, had an idea. "We saw that the aliens' weapons used some kind of energy beam," she said. "What if we could create a shield that absorbs that energy and turns it into power for our own weapons?" The other scientists loved the idea. They worked day and night to build Dr. Chen's energy-absorbing shield. Meanwhile, in another part of the facility, A team led by a young computer genius named Jamal was working on something else. "The aliens' technology is way ahead of ours," Jamal said. "But every system has weaknesses. We need to find a way to hack into their ships and shut them down." Jamal and his team created a super smart computer virus. They hoped it could break through the aliens' defenses and take control of their ships. But the humans knew they couldn't just rely on technology. They also needed brave people willing to fight the aliens face to face. All around the world, a special team of soldiers was put together. They trained hard, learning to use the new weapons the scientists were creating. One of these soldiers was Maria, a former Olympic athlete. "The aliens are bigger and stronger than us," she told her team. "But we're smart, and we never give up. That's how we'll win." As the days passed, excitement and nervousness grew. The new weapons were almost ready. The soldiers were trained. But would it be enough? Then, 5 days before the aliens were due to return, something unexpected happened. The alien scout ship came back early. It landed in the middle of the Sahara Desert. The world's leaders had to make a quick decision. Should they show their new weapons now, or wait for the full alien fleet to arrive? After a short discussion, they decided it was time to show the aliens that Earth could fight back. As news spread that humanity was about to face off against the aliens, people everywhere held their breath. The fate of the entire planet hung in the balance. The battle for Earth was about to begin. Humans trick aliens. The alien scout ship sat in the middle of the Sahara Desert, its blue metal skin shimmering under the hot sun. Around it, Earth's best soldiers and scientists gathered, hidden behind sand dunes. They were nervous but ready. Maria, the ex-Olympic athlete turned soldier, peeked over a dune. She whispered into her radio, "I see 3 aliens coming out. They look just like the ones from New York." Dr. Chen, watching through binoculars, added, "They're carrying some kind of scanner. They must be checking out the area." Jamal, the computer genius, sat nearby with a laptop. "Remember the plan," he said. "We need to get them to use their weapons. Dr. Chen's shield needs to absorb their energy to power up." The team watched as the aliens walked around, pointing their scanners at the sand and rocks. Suddenly, one alien turned and pointed directly at the humans' hiding spot. "They've seen us," Maria shouted. "Get ready." The aliens raised their arms, energy beams charging up. The humans held their breath, waiting for the right moment. Just as the aliens fired, Dr. Chen pressed a button on a small device. A shimmer appeared in the air in front of the humans. The aliens' energy beams hit this invisible shield and seemed to disappear. "It's working," Dr. Chen yelled excitedly. "The shield is absorbing their energy." The aliens looked confused. They fired again and again, but each time their beams just vanished into the shield. With each hit, a meter on Dr. Chen's device climbed higher. "Okay, Jamal," Maria said. "The shield is charged. Time for phase 2. Jamal nodded and started typing furiously on his laptop. "Sending out our virus now," he said. "Let's hope it can break into their systems." For a tense minute, nothing seemed to happen. The aliens kept firing, and the humans stayed behind their shield. Then suddenly, the aliens' weapons shut off. "We're in," Jamal shouted. "The virus worked. We have control of their tech." The aliens looked at their weapons in confusion. They pressed buttons and shook the devices, but nothing happened. Then, to everyone's surprise, the aliens dropped their weapons and raised all 4 of their hands in surrender. Maria stood up, holding her own weapon. "In the name of Earth, you are our prisoners now," she said clearly. The aliens' light words appeared. "How is this possible? Your technology was primitive days ago." Dr. Chen stepped forward. "We learn fast," she said with a smile. "And we work well together when we need to." The humans led the aliens back to their ship. Inside, Jamal got to work on the ship's main computer. "Wow," he said, "their technology is amazing. But their computer security is actually pretty bad. They never expected anyone to hack them. As Jamal worked, he found something interesting. "Hey everyone, look at this," he called out. The others gathered around his screen. "It's a file about the aliens' weaknesses," Jamal explained. "Apparently, they're terrified of dogs." Everyone looked at each other in disbelief. Maria started laughing. "Dogs, like our cute, fluffy pets. These powerful aliens are afraid of dogs." Dr. Chen was thoughtful. "It makes sense in a way," she said. "They've never seen dogs before. And dogs can be pretty scary if you don't know them. Remember, the aliens said our emotions were a weakness. They probably don't understand loyalty or friendship like dogs show." Jamal kept reading. "It says here that the aliens think dogs are some kind of fearless war beasts. They've seen videos of dogs playing and think they're training to attack." A plan started forming in Maria's mind. "I think I know how we can defend Earth without a big war," she said with a grin. Over the next few days, the team worked hard. They used the alien ship's communication system to send a message to the main alien fleet. The message said that Earth was ready for their arrival and had a surprise for them. When the day came for the alien fleet to arrive, the sky filled with huge ships. They covered the sun, casting the whole world in shadow. People everywhere watched in fear, wondering what would happen. Then the humans put their plan into action. All around the world, in every city and town, people released their dogs. Millions of dogs of all shapes and sizes filled the streets. There were tiny chihuahuas and huge Great Danes, fluffy poodles and sleek greyhounds, and every single dog was wagging its tail and looking happy. The aliens watched this from their ships, their 3 eyes wide with terror. To them, it looked like Earth had unleashed an army of happy, fearless war beasts. Using the communication system they'd hacked, the humans sent a message to the alien fleet. "This is only a small part of our dog army. If you try to conquer us, we'll send them to your planets too." The effect was immediate. The alien ships started to turn around. Within minutes, the whole fleet was racing away from Earth as fast as they could. Back on the ground, people hugged their dogs and cheered. Humanity had won, not with weapons, but with humanity's best friend. As news of their victory spread, people celebrated all over the world. They had faced a huge challenge and succeeded by working together and thinking creatively. And every dog got an extra treat that night for helping save the world. Big space battle. Just when everyone thought Earth was safe, things took a sudden turn. A new alien fleet appeared in the sky, bigger and scarier than before. These weren't the Zorkath aliens who ran away from dogs. These were their enemies, the Xenvu, and they had followed the Zorkath to Earth. The Xenvu ships were dark and spiky, like giant metal sea urchins floating in space. Their message to Earth was simple: "Give us the Zorkath technology, or we will destroy your planet." Earth's leaders quickly met to decide what to do. They knew they couldn't give up the alien tech they had just gotten. It was Earth's only real defense. But how could they fight this new powerful enemy? Maria, the soldier, had an idea. "We tricked the Zorkath," she said. "Maybe we can trick these aliens too." Dr. Chen nodded. "And we can use the Zorkath ships we captured. The Xenvu might not attack if they think we're their old enemies." Jamal, the computer whiz, grinned. "I think I can make our ships look like they're part of a huge fleet. We'll use holograms." The plan was set. Earth would pretend to be a powerful alien world, hoping to scare off the Xenvu without a fight. As the Xenvu ships got closer to Earth, Jamal worked his magic. He used the Zorkath hologram technology to make it look like Earth had hundreds of alien ships protecting it. Maria and a team of brave pilots got into the real Zorkath ships. They flew up to meet the Xenvu, surrounded by hologram ships that looked just as real. For a moment, it seemed like the trick might work. The Xenvu fleet slowed down, probably confused by the large number of ships they were seeing. But then something went wrong. One of the hologram projectors failed, and several fake ships flickered and disappeared. The Xenvu realized they had been tricked. With an angry roar, they attacked. Huge energy beams shot out from the Xenvu ships, heading straight for Earth. But Dr. Chen was ready. She had improved the energy-absorbing shields, and now they covered the whole planet. The Xenvu weapons hit the shield and disappeared. People on Earth saw flashes of light in the sky, but felt no danger. Up in space, Maria and her team fought bravely. They darted between the big Xenvu ships, using the Zorkath weapons to cause damage. But there were just too many enemy ships. "We need help," Maria shouted into her radio. "We can't hold them off much longer." Down on Earth, Jamal had an idea. "What if we use the dogs again?" he said. "Not real ones this time, but robot dogs." Dr. Chen's eyes lit up. "And we can make them big. Like really big." They quickly got to work. Using the alien hologram tech and Earth's best robotics, they created an army of giant robot space dogs. Each one looked as big as a Xenvu ship. As Maria and her team retreated back towards Earth, the robot dog army launched. Thousands of giant mechanical canines flew into space, barking loudly. The Xenvu were shocked. They had never seen anything like this before. Giant dogs in space. It was too weird to believe. Some Xenvu ships tried to fire at the dogs, but their weapons just passed through the holograms. Other ships tried to run away, but the robot dogs chased them, snapping their giant metal jaws. It was chaos in space. Real ships mixed with hologram dogs, energy beams flying everywhere. The Xenvu didn't know what was real and what wasn't. Finally, the Xenvu had enough. Their commander sent out a message: "Retreat. This planet is too strange and dangerous." As the Xenvu fleet turned and fled, cheers erupted from Earth and the human ships in space. They had won. Maria landed her ship and jumped out, hugging Dr. Chen and Jamal. "I can't believe that worked," she laughed. Jamal grinned. Who knew that "Who Let the Dogs Out" would become Earth's victory song? Dr. Chen looked up at the sky, where the last Xenvu ships were disappearing. "You know," she said, "I think we've learned something important. Our creativity, our ability to come up with crazy ideas, that's our real strength." As news of the victory spread, people around the world celebrated. Schools of all ages studied the battle, learning about how teamwork, quick thinking, and a good sense of humor had saved the day. In the years that followed, Earth used its new alien technology to start exploring space. But they always made sure to bring pictures of dogs with them, just in case. And so, Earth took its place among the stars, known across the galaxy as the planet of brave humans and their loyal, sometimes giant, space dogs. Earth's smart plan. After winning the big space battle, Earth had a problem. The planet was now known in space, but not in a good way. Some aliens thought Earth was scary. Others wanted to steal its technology. Earth needed a smart plan to make friends and stay safe. Maria, Dr. Chen, and Jamal met with world leaders to think of ideas. They sat in a big room with a view of the sky, remembering their space adventure. "We can't keep tricking aliens with dogs and holograms," Maria said. "We need real friends out there." Dr. Chen nodded. "But how do we make friends when we barely know anything about space?" Jamal, who was playing with his computer, suddenly looked up. "Hey, remember how we hacked the Zorkath computers? We still have all their data." Everyone gathered around Jamal's screen. He showed them maps of the galaxy, lists of alien races, and information about space politics. It was like finding a guidebook to the universe. "This is great," said the president. "But how do we use this information?" Dr. Chen had an idea. "What if we become the galaxy's problem solvers? We're good at thinking outside the box. We could help other aliens with their problems." Maria liked this. "Yeah. And if we help enough aliens, we'll make lots of friends. Then no one will want to attack us. Jamal grinned. I can set up a space internet help desk. Aliens can send us their problems, and we'll work on solutions. The world leaders agreed. Earth would become the galaxy's go-to place for solving tough problems. They called it Project Cosmic Handyman. Over the next few months, Jamal and his team built a powerful space computer. It could talk to aliens all over the galaxy. They sent out a message. Got a problem? Ask Earth. At first, nothing happened. The aliens were too scared or suspicious to ask for help. But then, a small planet called Blurple sent a message. The Blurpians wrote, "Our planet is too cold. We're always shivering. Can you help?" Earth's team got to work. They studied Blurple's situation and came up with a plan. They taught the Blurpians how to build special mirrors in space to reflect more of their sun's heat onto their planet. The Blurpians were so happy, they told all their alien friends about Earth's help. Soon, more messages started coming in. A moon needed help growing food. A spaceship crew was lost. 2 alien races couldn't understand each other's languages. For each problem, Earth's team found a creative solution. They mixed Earth ideas with alien technology in ways no one had thought of before. Word spread across the galaxy. If you have a tough problem, ask the humans. One day, a really big problem came. The Zingle Empire, known as the galaxy's bullies, was threatening a group of peaceful planets. These planets asked Earth for help. This was tricky. Earth didn't want to start a war. They needed a clever solution. Maria remembered something from the alien data. The Zingles are proud of being the biggest and strongest. What if we challenge them to a contest instead of a fight? Dr. Chen added, a contest that looks like it's about strength, but really tests kindness and teamwork. Jamal got excited. I can use holograms to make it look really impressive. The Zingles won't be able to resist. They sent a message to the Zingle Empire. We challenge you to the Galactic Harmony Games. Prove you're the best by building the most beautiful planet together. The Zingles, not wanting to look weak, accepted the challenge. Earth invited aliens from all over to join in and help. The games were a big success. Aliens worked together, sharing ideas and helping each other. The Zingles, trying to win, ended up learning about teamwork and making friends. At the end, the Zingles didn't even care about who won. They were too busy making plans with their new alien friends. The peaceful planets were safe, and the galaxy had a new way to solve problems without fighting. Earth's plan had worked better than anyone expected. The planet became known across the galaxy as a place of clever ideas and helpful friends. Aliens started visiting Earth, eager to learn and share knowledge. With their growing network of alien friends, Earth felt safer than ever. They had turned their weaknesses into strengths. Being newcomers to space meant they could think of solutions others couldn't. Being small meant they had to be clever instead of powerful. As Earth celebrated its new role in the galaxy, Maria, Dr. Chen, and Jamal looked up at the stars. The universe didn't seem scary anymore. It was full of new friends and exciting adventures. You know, Maria said, I think our greatest strength wasn't our technology or our tricks. Dr. Chen nodded. It was our ability to bring people together, to turn enemies into friends. Jamal grinned. And our awesome sense of humor. Don't forget that. They all laughed, ready for whatever new challenges the galaxy might bring. Earth had found its place among the stars, not as conquerors, but as helpers and friends to all. Earth becomes space hero. 5 years had passed since Earth started helping other aliens. The planet had made many friends, but also some enemies. Not everyone liked how Earth was changing things in space. One day, a big problem came up. The Galactic Council, which ruled most of the galaxy, called an emergency meeting. They invited Earth to join for the first time. Maria, Dr. Chen, and Jamal went as Earth's team. They flew in a shiny spaceship made with Earth and alien technology. As they entered the huge meeting room on a far-off planet, they felt nervous but excited. The room was full of strange aliens. Some had tentacles, others had multiple heads. There were aliens that looked like clouds of gas and others that glowed in the dark. Earth's team tried not to stare. The leader of the council, a wise old alien named Zorp, spoke first. "We have a crisis," Zorp said. "The Void Eaters are coming." A scared whisper went through the room. Jummel quickly looked up Void Eaters on his space tablet. His eyes went wide. "Oh," he whispered to Maria and Dr. Chen. "These are bad news," Zorp explained. "The Void Eaters are ancient creatures that eat whole planets. They're heading towards the busy center of our galaxy. Millions of worlds are in danger." The room erupted in panic. Aliens were shouting, crying, and arguing. Some wanted to fight the Void Eaters. Others wanted to run away. Maria stood up. In a loud, clear voice, she said, "Maybe we can help." The room went quiet. All eyes, and other sensory organs, turned to the Earth team. Dr. Chen spoke next. "We've solved many problems by looking at them in new ways. Maybe we can do the same here." Jamal nodded. "We'll need to know everything about these Void Eaters, and we'll need everyone's help." Zorp looked doubtful but agreed. "You have one rotation of this planet to come up with a plan. It's a long shot, but we have no other options." Earth's team got to work. They studied all the information about Void Eaters. They asked questions to every alien species. Slowly, an idea began to form. Just before time was up, they called everyone back. The room was tense as Maria began to speak. "We can't fight the Void Eaters," she said. "And we can't run. But maybe we can trick them." Dr. Chen stepped forward. "Void Eaters are attracted to the energy of living planets. But what if we could make fake planets?" Jamal grinned. "Giant space holograms. We can make empty areas of space look full of tasty planets. We'll lead the Void Eaters away from real worlds." The aliens muttered to each other. It was a crazy plan, but it just might work. Zorp stood up. "This plan is dangerous and difficult. It will take the combined efforts of all our worlds. Who will help?" At first, no one moved. Then, a small alien child floated forward. "Earth helped my planet when no one else would. I trust them." One by one, other aliens joined in. Soon, the whole room was cheering for Earth's plan. The next few weeks were busy. Aliens from all over the galaxy worked together. They built huge hologram projectors in space. Earth's team led the project, solving problems and keeping everyone motivated. Finally, the day came. The Void Eaters appeared at the edge of the galaxy. They looked like giant dark clouds with hungry red eyes. Jamal pressed a button, and suddenly space lit up with thousands of fake planets. They looked and felt just like real ones, but were only light and energy. Everyone held their breath. Would the Void Eaters fall for the trick? The giant creatures paused. They looked at the real planets, then at the fake ones. For a heart-stopping moment, they moved towards the real worlds. But then they turned. The Void Eaters headed straight for the biggest cluster of fake planets. A cheer went up across the galaxy. The plan was working. For days, they led the Void Eaters through empty space. Aliens worked in shifts to keep the holograms running. Earth's team coordinated everything, making sure the plan stayed on track. Finally, they reached the edge of the galaxy. With one last burst of energy, they created a huge fake feast of planets. The Void Eaters fell for it completely. They flew out into the dark space between galaxies, chasing planets that didn't exist. The galaxy was saved. The celebration was like nothing Earth had ever seen. Aliens from millions of worlds cheered and thanked the humans. Earth was hailed as the hero of the galaxy. In a special ceremony, Zorp named Earth as a senior member of the Galactic Council. "You've shown us that being different can be a strength," Zorp said. "Your creativity and courage have saved us all." As Maria, Dr. Chen and Jamal looked out at the crowds of cheering aliens. They felt proud. Earth had come so far from its first scary meeting with aliens. "You know," Maria said, "I think this is just the beginning. Imagine what else we can do to help the galaxy." Dr. Chen nodded. "With science, creativity, and teamwork, there's no problem too big to solve." Jamal grinned. "And just think of all the cool alien tech we'll get to play with." They laughed, ready for their next big adventure. Earth wasn't just part of the galactic community now. It was a leader, a problem solver, and a true hero of space. As news of their victory spread back home, people on Earth looked up at the stars with new eyes. The galaxy wasn't something far away and scary anymore. It was full of friends, adventures, and endless possibilities. Earth had found its place in the universe, not through fear or force, but with kindness, cleverness, and courage. The future was bright, and it was full of stars.